How much do you think the MTA tax is costing you as a business owner?
Directly affecting me, a few $100s for this business and a few thousand for my other business.
Annually or quarterly?
Annually.
Annually. Have you paid any yet?
I have, unfortunately, with regret.
I could speak as a not-for-profit director. It's costing me $1,400 a year. I have 2 full-time employees plus myself.
And you hear story after story of small business owners who either have to lay somebody off to pay the check, or maybe could have brought somebody on part-time and they're unable and incapable of doing it. And really, everybody, you know, a lot of the consensus, I think, from taxpayers, or at least from constituents, is that they believe that this is just a small business issue, and it's not just a small business issue. From yeshivas to Catholic schools, assisted living centers, they are inalterably hurt and affected by this tax. It's really cruel. This tax represents cruel and unusual punishment to nonprofits and taxpayers in Hudson Valley.
I have a question.
Yeah.
This was passed in the legislature,
Yeah,
if I'm
it was.
correct? Can you get a list of the names of everyone that voted for it and get it to me at least?
Absolutely.
I'd
Absolutely.
appreciate that.
And moving forward between now and April 15th, we need your help to get the names on that the letter, because what you see happen in Albany, in DC they call it the Potomac two-step, I don't know what the heck they call it in Albany, but they do one thing in the chamber and then they do another thing back in the district. And if you look throughout the Hudson Valley, you know, the Journal News covers it, the entire region, you have majority members, Democratic members, are saying, I'm against it, I'm against it, I'm against it. But when it came up on the floor, they sat in their chair and they didn't say anything. And then moving forward, even our congressman, John Hall, he Senate Representative Susan Spear, that came to our MTA roundtable that we held up in Putnam County 2 weeks ago. And she said, oh no, we're against the MTA payroll tax. But they have still, our federal representatives have still yet to sign that letter. And we need their support. If they're really against it, we need their support. And all that letter asks for is very common sense. 1, repeal the MTA payroll tax. And number 2, demand a forensic accounting of the MTA, which is common sense. I mean, you're looking at the amount of money they're spending on a doghouse in southwestern Dutchess County. They have projects that are 900% over the estimate. And this is insanity.
Well, I would, one of the things I heard today, it was either on the news or it was in the news, something I read or heard, that chances are that thing that Governor Patterson is proposing for us, half, right, that's never gonna happen. And the other thing I would look at is just, you know, is whoever signed this,
Yeah.
it would be helpful to have those
We'll get it
names.
for it. We'll get it for it. And then the names that aren't on our letter, I'll give it to you as well, to hopefully demand. You know what maybe we could do is even on that, on the letter that we have now, ask for legislators to sign on board, but maybe we can get municipalities, nonprofits, you know, and build the list of signers, and just on the top, have elected officials. But it has to be, this is common sense, it has to be bipartisan. It should not be a partisan issue in any sense.
Well, it's kind of taxation without
It
representation.
is taxation
Doesn't
without
anybody read the
representation. There's a
Constitution
lawsuit
anymore?
coming out in Long Island.
We don't get anything
By
for
a
it.
business owner out there that he has contested this tax on several fronts.
Well, you know, the other thing is that when they talk about half this or repeal it, and I think everybody in this room has been around for a while, that, have you ever seen a price come down on anything in your lifetime?
Yeah, there was no sunset
It's
placed
never happened.
on this
Or
tax.
any promises, you know, that were given, have that, you know,
Well, it's
follow
so
through?
ambiguous, it can go up and down, it can go from 0.75% to, I mean,
But if I can make one comment on this, either all of our discontent on, you know, when you go to the diners, when you, places like this, when you talk to constituents, there's a lot of pain out there. And we've been talking, you know, people are upset with the amount, the level of taxation in the Hudson Valley, especially in Westchester County.
it's unbelievable.
And it's either talk, it's either idle chatter, we're gonna do something about it. And that's why April 15th is so important, and that's why organizing the community against this tax is so important. Because if we can't get this tax repealed, then really it's gonna be lights out for the state of New York. Any questions?
What are the penalties being faced if people don't pay this tax? And B, I mean, what do you say to people who, they detest this tax, absolutely, but are really afraid of those penalties?
Right. I can get you the specifics of what the fines,
Okay.
you know, what the fines would be, but there's no
The
doubt,
fines
if you don't pay your tax.
Oh, Sarah,
a certain
Yeah.
percentage, because we pay for it no matter what, and they've told us already, if you don't pay it on time, you're gonna get penalized. So we have no choice to pay. Between the sales tax up and everything else, I mean, they're not doing nothing with the sales tax, they're not bringing it down. It's always going up every single
Yeah.
year. Small business person like us and Terrence, we are paying the most taxes around here. We especially pay over the over the road tax, under the road tax, whatever, you know, it's ridiculous, it keeps adding up.
And the government's forcing a black market economy.
Exactly.
Now, there's safety in numbers, and there's also safety in this symbolic gesture. So, you know, if you fill this out, this isn't gonna be cashed anywhere. So if you fill this out and send it to my office and show up on April 15th, there'll be no fees. Now, the government may send a representative to, to get your license plate, but outside of that.
Greg, can I say something?
Yeah, please.
I'm a member of the United Taxpayers of Yorktown, and I just want to know, it's not only the business owners that are being hit by this tax. Our town is being hit by it, and our schools are being hit by it. So that means all of us property owners have to pay for this tax also, and I'm appalled to it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Retroactive.
And who took the train to get here?
Giving you the time.